Welcome back, my fellow duplicates. In the last episode here, we were able to build up this big old space scanner up here, and with all of these doors, we were able to protect the top of our base. However, what you can see here is that we are having some power issues now, so we need to generate more power. So to generate more power, we are going to be harvesting the thermal energy that's falling from space. So that's going to be all of this regolith here and the stuff that it comes in contact with. Matter of fact, we can see that these tiles right down here are incredibly hot, 260 degrees Celsius. And all of this heat keeps dropping onto our base over and over again, so it makes sense to tap into this geothermal power. So there's a couple different locations where I think we can go ahead and do that. One, we have these doors right here, and every time a door is closed, we can actually thermally interact with it. However, when the door is open, it will not thermally react with anything that's running behind it. So if we have these liquid pipes behind this stuff right now, the grid would actually be heating up right here because these doors are closed, but we would only transfer the heat out of these doors down here when they cycle close in order to actually get rid of the regolith. So that's one opportunity right there. The other way that we can also transfer the thermal energy here is maybe using something like a conveyor rail, which can kind of have a twofold effect. One, we can transfer material through there just to thermally be in contact with the doors when they are closed. But the other thing here is when we go to kick out this material on the right here, which is just going to be a lot of this regolith and everything right there. You can see there's a bit of it building up in that one location. We can move that through a steam room, cool it down, get some of that power out of it, and then we would have a way to kind of already ship it off to another location. I want the regolith to be fed down to my shovels down here, so that kind of makes sense. Now our other source of power here is light, obviously during the day, and there's a ton of light coming in from space, so we can actually harvest that energy right here, so long as the doors are open. And that's the sort of inconsistent thing about solar panels, is that they don't always provide power for you. So you need to have a fair amount of battery storage in order to make good use of that. So to start things off, I'm going to go ahead and build a few solar panels right here. If you run just a full solar panel and then you actually just hide the next one by 3, you can still kind of get the maximum amount out of these solar panels, depending on the time of day. It's really just 3 over. Now, some people like to set up a nice little pyramid right here, and I might actually do that. Now when it comes to these solar panels, one thing you need to be aware of here is they are considered heavy equipment, so you have to keep them away from the space scanners. So we can go ahead and drop that. So long as it's this far down, it should be good. We'll see if I'm wrong or not, but it's over 15 tiles away, so I think I should be all right. And the other thing is that the panels that are below this don't need to be fully exposed to the light above it. You can actually kind of trim off just a little bit right here. So that would be missing 1 tile, that would be missing 2. Technically, you can go up to missing 3. Now, I don't have a ton of room right here because I'll hit my space station, but at least this gives me a decent grid here for solar panels, at least for right now. I may not make this kind of all fancy like that. I think it's kind of ugly, and I'm here to look cool. So, okay, so whenever harvesting geothermal power, we need to have a little steam generator set up. So I kind of set this one up right here. This is just a blueprint. Makes it very easy to set up a couple of aqua tuners and a steam turbine on top. So I can go ahead and just make use of this. I think I'll just actually put it right in this spot. I'll give myself a decent amount of space though, just in case I want to add some more doors and maybe do some stuff on top of it. So essentially what this blueprint is right here is just a couple different cooling loops. Essentially we have ones that can run out and actually cool some things. In this case, we don't actually want to run out and cool different spots here. What we want to do is actually just run something like a conveyor rail through here, capture that energy, deliver it back to the steam. So with that in mind, I don't think I actually need to change anything here. This thing works the way it should. One, I have one loop that's going to cool the steam turbine, or that and some other stuff if I wanted to as well. And the other one here is just kind of set up to cool whatever I run through it. So I could probably leave all that liquid stuff in the just right there, and then just add conveyor rails. Let's see how expensive this is. Ooh. Okay, not too bad actually, not too bad. Actually, I've changed my mind just a little bit here. I want this to be relatively close to the end of this run right here. That way I can drop the material right down next to the steam turbine and harvest its thermal energy right there. So if I put that right there, then what I can do is put a metal tile right down here. And that's where the material will come to rest. Actually, I could do a door, couldn't I? Yes, if I use a steel door right here. Oh, by the way, I've got the new doors installed. Maybe we make something fancy. like a security door. Okay, fine. We'll go with the mechanized airlock. Oh, but this one's even bigger. Look at that. Stick to the plan. We'll make this out of steel. And then we'll set up the same sort of signal that we use in these other locations, like right down here, where we detect how hot this material is that fell down next to the volcano. By the way, I should get that thing up and running this episode too. But essentially, I can set that up right here, put a little bit of liquid or something right in that spot, and detect what temperature this material is. So then I can drop it through once it gets cool enough. There we go. See, that's working a little bit better. Okay, so I think the problem that I was running into here with the hydrogen generator not being able to tune up, I think it had to do with how often this thing was running out of fuel. When I find that a generator is not able to keep up with the power demand, it seems like it doesn't want to be tuned up by the duplicates. So there were some comments that were talking about that and what I could potentially change right there, and I think that's the trick. I think you have to be able to let the machine run in order for it to tune up. And it's not really based off of just one observation. I've noticed the same thing happening with these down here when I ran into a couple power problems with those. It just wouldn't get tuned up. Okay, and by the way, this little steam cooler right here is available as a blueprint in the description below, just in case you're wondering. These shovels keep messing up my little hatchery here. Cancel. The thing is, I actually maxed out the farm over there. So this spot, so every time I would hatch one out of this incubator here, it would actually just kind of run wild throughout my base because I couldn't wrangle it and deliver it anywhere else. And it could probably dig through the walls too, because I never actually set it up to contain them in the first place. But how are we doing up here? Ooh, what? We're only at 15 of 20. Do we just have a lot of eggs or something? Or did they get hungry and die? It was maxed, but now it's not. I wouldn't think that they would die of food. Yeah, their age might be a little bit high. I think there's some little babies in there too. Let's make sure we feed them though, just to keep them happy. Nom 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 nom. Alright, I'm starting to get a little bit of carbon dioxide built up in here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that and change some of the stuff to an airflow tile and let that flow past. Right now, it's just going to suck out a lot of oxygen, so quick dupes, cover it up again. Dupes, we're venting into space. Nickel up. Come on, bud. You do want to be able to breathe tonight. It's actually not that bad. And there we go. All right, so the carbon dioxide that was kind of in this area should find its way down here, and then I can detect it and get rid of it just like I'm doing right here with this little detector and a little bit of a mini gas pump. We'll just dump that into space. And then I still have room for the power station right over here. Boom. Not even a problem. All right, so now that this thing has been tuned up, oh, I thought it was tuned up. Okay, it's not tuned up. Let's try it again. Maybe it'll work if I can get it to be tuned up. All right, so I have this little bottle empty right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a teeny tiny bit of petroleum in there. There's a good reason for that. Why? Because we got petroleum right here that I've been trying to sweep up forever. So there we go. You could just drop in right there, please. But don't open the door. Don't drop my liquid out. There you go. Oh yeah, and before you leave, let's hook that thing up. Bam. Ooh, priority level 9, please. Okay, well that was a little bit of petroleum, but what about the rest of this? Come on, dupes. Nothing. Straight up ignored. There we go. Got my little petroleum in that spot. Perfect. Also going to try to deconstruct that little spot there, so if I can get the pathing to go a little bit faster. There you go, dupes. I can just fly up here. Hopefully we can sweep this out here. I would like to sweep this up before I go and drop it onto my base. Otherwise it's going to heat things up, and I don't really want them to get hotter than they already are. 50 degrees Celsius is plenty warm. I'd like that to be a little bit cooler if possible. Okay, so one cool thing about this little setup right here is how the liquid works. It's just really, really simple. Obviously you detect the temperature there, and then it runs back into your aqua tuner right here. However, you can see that the direction of the liquid runs like this, just right around here, and then it jumps over and goes onto the outside of the aqua tuner right there. So if you're running through the aqua tuner, that takes priority. So that's kind of a little handy little trick. So I'm just going to set that same thing up for this unit right down here. I'll just kind of get rid of some of these pipes. I don't need those. And since I'm already in the area, let's go ahead and add a liquid reservoir just to kind of balance the temperature. All right, so here's how this is going to roll. I'm going to bring in the liquid right here, balance the temperatures. I'll check the temperature right here to see if I want to enable or disable the aqua tuner. And if I don't, then it'll just go right past that. And then I'll jump over the output just like so. And then if this is running, it will jump right through there. Boom. So it's one or the other. And that runs back up here to cool this thing down. But I need a liquid pipe thermal sensor, and that will be right here. And then I can connect the two just like so. Bam. Done. Uh-oh, Val has been overcome by indecision. Quick, make a choice. Go somewhere. Okay, bye. Okay, so to double down on my cooling here, what I'm going to do is set up a little bit of an auto sweeper. Although I would like to make that out of steel, but apparently I don't have steel available. Okay. That'll be right here. And then I'll do a conveyor loader right on top of that. And what I can do is use this conveyor rail to ship right through here, just like this. So anything that enters this line right there, be it regolith or whatever, that can end up in this area right here, transferring its thermal energy into the steam. So we're really transferring three different ways. We've got the conveyor rail that's going to be in continuous motion. We've got the one that we're going to load up and run through the steam. And we also have this direct contact right here in case I have a higher volume. So several different ways to cool down the same thing. We'll see which one works the best. You know, that doesn't make any sense. I have plenty of steel. Oh, I know. I just don't have enough to cover my needs. Oh, I got it. I got it. So that's a problem with my settings that I put into this machine down here. My minimum is not enough to supply enough for like the different aqua tuners and everything. So I've overqueued my steel. That's what's happened here. So this needs to be more like 2,000 here. So Drandolph, let's start running this machine again. Matter of fact, how are the temperatures down here? 50 degrees. Okay, that's not too bad. I feel like this thermal aqua tuner has been running for 1,000 cycles now. And you know what else I'm kind of surprised about? The steam turbine is still running. This thing has been sucking in heat for a long, long time. What are we up to? 284. So that was quite a bit hotter many, many cycles ago, but it's still running. All right, so here's an opportunity where I can try out some different doors. We can throw them in right here. I've got this whole thing kind of enclosed in now. So what I want to have up here is just a little bit of water. Actually, you know what? I think I might want that door to be in a different location. It's not so great right there. Although if you go in up here, it'll be a little bit better. And then we'll just bring in some water from there. We can go ahead and auto bottle that up. We'll have to run it a long ways, but you know what? It'll be all right. And then as far as what we have going on up here, well, I think we just need some gas in there. Some sort of carbon dioxide or hydrogen or something. Oh, you got close. The water's right there, man. All right, so there's some other things I need to do here as well. I need to make sure that I'm bringing up the liquid for this loop because that's important. I don't need a whole lot. I just need a little bit for this loop right here. I don't have a balancing tank on this one. I'm just going to use petroleum. It's going to be relatively hot and it should balance out just fine. Let me just go ahead and throw one of these canister emptiers here. I think I already have one right over here. Yeah, I just got a bunch of stuff right there. I can go ahead and empty some of that up there. Hopefully it's not all chlorine. I could do some oxygen, I think. There we go. We'll bring in either some hydrogen or some oxygen that I might have bottled inside of my base. We can just get rid of it. There we go. Just sweep up the little granite from the water that was left over. Not a big deal. And look, my dupes also swept up all of this over here, so that's good too. Cheer to you, but we're waiting for that good old save. All right, so that's good news because I can go ahead and deconstruct this now, which will allow my telescope to see into space, at least when these doors finally open up. Uh-oh, this might have ended up too close right here. Crap, I forgot about that. Hopefully that's not too much. Ooh, that is definitely too much. But you know what? It might not be bad because it's kind of in a blind spot for this thing. So it might actually work out. We'll see. Let's make sure we sweep this stuff up. That stuff is pretty hot. I think one thing I'm going to do over here is just go ahead and expand this a little bit. Just because I feel like I'm going to use it for more things than just this one little area over here. So I figure I might as well just kind of build it up just a little bit right now before having to build it up later. So there we go, a bit of oxygen in the room, perfect. So for example, something that I want over here on the right is going to be some batteries. That way I can run either of these aqua tuners if need be, because I have those already set up and ready to go. Ah, you're standing in the door. Oh well. Probably should have planned that one out a little bit differently, but it's working now, I guess. Actually, rather than having 3 batteries up there, I'm just going to have the 2. And then I can use a power transformer to bring juice into this just to fire it up in the first time. But then again, just to load up this conveyor rail, I can actually just use a manual generator up there. Just fire it up for a little bit and then turn it off later. So we can go ahead and do that. Oh, some of this regolith found its way onto my base right here, right there and there. And that heated up the environments just enough to burn the light bulbs up. Great. All right, well, we're just about ready to fire this thing up. I think a couple more cycles and this thing will be built. Maybe. No! What? How does water do this? It's not there, but it's there and over here? What are you doing, water? Since when can you crawl up walls? What in the world? I'm gonna have to store my food somewhere else because this is just happening too often. What? That's just ridiculous. See, there's still the same amount of water there. Okay, so here's what I could do. I could just actually put a tile right there and bump the door up one. This will kind of go up and over it, but at least that'll allow me another layer of protection so that the water doesn't come down here. Oh no. Kitty got ticked off, apparently. She's a stress eater. Let's move her somewhere where we can lock her in. Kitty, move on up here. Nope. You can't go through. You can't go through. Chill. Yeah, the mess up with the food there really caused some people to get stressed out. Although I wouldn't really say it was a mess up. It was just kind of a fluke thing. Ugh. Oh well. Is what it is. My dupes will get over it. Alright, so while that was happening, did we at least finish this up? No. Come on. Just a few more. Alright, so here we go. Things are finally wired up. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing operational. So what I want to load up here is just going to be probably some metal of some sort. So I think iron is probably a good candidate for that. We'll go ahead and load that up and we'll put allow manual use. So that'll be good. We'll kind of power this stuff up real quick. Throw some dupes on there. Alright, so I'm shipping some iron around, so that should hopefully go out there. You can see that it's currently at 62 degrees. And we're not going to see the temperature go up until it actually gets into this spot right there. And then at that point, yes, the contents inside of there, 293 degrees Celsius. Great. That's exactly what I wanted to see. That'll come back down here and deliver its energy into this water. So if I take a look at the temperature inside of here, we should see this go up. Woo! Okay, a little bit. Yeah, just give it a little bit of time. It'll go up. Of course, now how to get the power to where it needs to go. Is this thing even ending up tuned? No, not really. Let's get rid of this stupid power station for now. There we go. That's a solar array I can live with. I think that'll look cool. All right, there we go. Now we've got some steam rolling through there. That's good. All right, so that conveyor rail is completely loaded up with iron. You can see that it's actually doing a pretty good job pulling in heat, 245 degrees Celsius. By the time it's going out, it's 228. So it's not transferring all that fast into the steam, which is kind of unfortunate. What is it, 248, 226? Kind of, come on in there. You know you want to. Kind of thought iron would be enough, but doesn't seem like it. All right, well, then let me try something different. We can go ahead and throw in a chute here. We'll replace that with gold. Let's see, do I have any other materials that are available that might be better? I don't have thermium. I don't have niobium. I don't have diamond. Gold doesn't really have the capacity. Aluminum or steel, either of those would be good. Let's take a look at aluminum real quick. Capacity of 0.9. Tons of conductivity, that's good. Oh yeah. Aluminum's the way to go. Look at that. Steel's at 0.49 and 54. Yeah, actually aluminum will work really good. This is a great use for it, actually. Sweet. All right. The other thing was we can go ahead and turn this space scanner on. Please. Come on, Dr. Eskimo. You can get there. There you go. All right, so all I should need to do now is just connect all of this. We should be good to go. Once the storm passes, these doors should open, and then we can start to run this. Hey, there we go. We've been able to clear that stuff out. That's a good deal. Now all I need to do is have this stuff cycle on and off. Oh, you know what? I can kind of do that. We'll close those doors down. Let's see here. We're sucking down the juice, aren't we? It'll be all right. And then once I reactivate it, doors will open up again. And we'll clear out all of this stuff to let the light through. And all of this material here should start to move to the right. Once this timer runs out. Yes, exactly. So now everything's moving to the right, moving to the right, moving to the right. I should get a decent amount of stuff right here. Blop. 19 tons of regolith, 81 kilograms of iron. Nice. And more importantly, you can see that the solar panels are now exposed to light. Good deal. And what's our space scanner looking like? Scan quality 93%. Okay, so it's probably picking up on this tile right there. Still, that's good for 63 seconds, which is enough. Okay, let's go ahead and load this up with aluminum now and see how this works now that I have changed it. Hey, look at this! Telescope is in operation. Catalina is now checking out some space stuff here. Sweet. What are we checking out in the star map? Nothing. Let's actually go and inspect something. There you go. Good deal. Uh-oh, but we've detected meteors. So now we're going to close up these doors. We can no longer see space, but what we should get out of this now is we should get the heat. So we should be able to run the steam turbine when the meteor shower is here, and then run solar when the shower is away. At least that's the hope. So, come on aluminum. All 200 and some degrees Celsius. Okay, what is the temperatures? Okay, the aluminum goes in at 240. It comes out at 149. There we go. There we go. Now look at this steam. It's going up so slow. But at least we are delivering the heat, right? It's okay. We'll load up more aluminum here. There we go. Meanwhile, Ren's going to keep us running. And then we'll deliver some more. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. I think one more delivery and then that's a full run of aluminum. We should see this thing start to turn on here pretty soon. Now, as far as the temperature is concerned, at this point, actually we should still be absorbing the heat. Let's take a look here. What's the temps looking like on the conveyor rail? We're at 200 right now, and then over here, nothing. It really isn't doing anything until the doors close. Yes, and then the heat starts going up. So actually, well, you can't see it because it's all over 100 degrees, but it is actually harvesting that thermal energy. That's good. All right, what if we turn this on above 140? It's going to be kind of reasonable. Nice. All right, so you can see that that thing is up and running. I think I want to change this, though, because there's a little bit too much. I'd rather have the automation hooked up between here and here. That makes a lot more sense. This also means I should be able to get rid of these power wires because I don't need those. But then again, I already have a tool. I could just kind of cut the wire. Ugh. But what is that wire down there? That's not any good. What? We already researched the carbon asteroid. Okay, you're really fast. Alright, so it's continuing to operate here. I'm getting a little bit of power out of it. 300 watts or so. I would say the thing that's most effective here is definitely this conveyor rail that's running around. I would say this little drop pool thing, it's kind of pointless, honestly. I think if I were to take this conveyor rail right here and just kind of run it a little bit further inside of here and bring it back, and that overall I think that would actually be a lot more effective than trying to take something here and then bring it and ship it through there. I mean, maybe if it was bigger and I just expanded the steam chamber down here, maybe that would make sense. But as my setup is right now, I think just making that larger would improve the transfer of heat from here to here. And right now that's the most effective thing for actually generating thermal power from space. So I think this being kind of an experiment, some things worked, some things didn't really work all that good. I can tell you this, it took quite a long time to build up here in space like this. There's a fair amount of equipment, a fair amount of automation and everything that's all laid in here. And building it in space by jetpack is kind of a slow thing. It's about a 2-hour process to build this thing. So when you compare that to just using solar panels and stacking up a lot of batteries, I'd kind of lean towards the solar panels and a lot of batteries. However, we did get some power out of the regolith here, so I think that's a fair start. Can't really get rid of it. So let's see here. Let's see if I can tweak this just a little bit. And maybe take the shipping rail, bring it down here like this, bring it over there, down and to the left. I'll see if my dupes can run through that really quick. I'll let them go through this area and hopefully we don't lose too much steam. Right now I feel like I have more than enough water there. We can always drop more in too. And I think that means I can just get rid of this stuff. Well, at least this fancy stuff right here. Maybe I'll still keep that there just for shipping. But I don't need some sensor to drop thing. Bleh. There we go. Now it's up and shipping again. So that's good. We let out of steam a few times. Alright, cool. So you can see everything here is shipping around and we're able to actually bring in a fair amount of heat to this area. You can see that this thing's running quite a bit more often, so that's good. I think I'll set that to be 150. We can see how quickly the temperature goes up. It is going up faster now that we have more. It is going up faster because we have a little bit more coverage here, and it's also going up a little bit faster because we have a little bit less mass. However, we are dealing with drywall in the background, so that kind of does play a factor here if you take a look at the temperatures as well. So there's actually a fair amount of mass down here. So that's one thing not to kind of forget, is that there is a lot of mass just in the drywall. Hey, we don't need this stuff up here anymore, dupes. Let's go ahead and just sweep it up, please. And while I may not have a ton of oxygen in this area, okay, so now to see if I can keep this steam turbine nice and cool. So what I can do is control the temperatures right here. If this goes above, let's say 50 degrees, that's kind of a fair bit lower. So if that's above 50 and this is below, let's say 225, we will run that little aqua tuner right there. And therefore we are cooling down the petroleum, but it's using a fair amount of power, actually more power than I'm putting out. But we should see the temperatures start to go down up here. Yes, yes they are. Okay, so it's starting to run less and less. We're dropping those temperatures down. You can see that we were up at 80 something, now we're down to 70. So this thing's staying nice and cool, even though it isn't really able to run continuous. It is controlling its own temperature. That's good. Aha! There we go. We're now down to temperature. So we stopped running the aqua tuner. This other one over here is actually not plugged into anything, so we don't have to worry about it. Alright, let's scan another object here. You can see that we have solar panels. Those are boosting up the amount of power we have. Although I would like those to actually be fed into the same sort of heavy watt conductive wire. I think I have to re-strategize how I'm actually going to do power up here. This was kind of for the base just to get it up and running, but now things are expanding quickly. And there's a lot of heavy pieces of equipment in space that require a lot of power, so yeah. But then again, I do have these volcanoes right here, so maybe I just do power in this area. Bam, there we go. Current load 1,000, 1,000, 0. Just like that. So we're harvesting a fairly regular 300 to 400 watts from the regolith storms or meteorites and all of that stuff that actually keep hitting this area. So this thing's actually working out pretty good. It's just taking a little while in order for the temperatures to really get up and running. But yeah, I would say once we start to actually increase the temperature of the mass inside of here, you can see that, you know, we're up to 140 or so degrees. Really not super hot, but we are at least harvesting thermal energy from the regolith up there. And does seem like it's something that can be expanded. We start to look at the temperatures in this area. Well, you can see the doors are still quite hot, but they're not 300 degrees Celsius. So that's something. Obviously, we're also getting a lot of power from the solar panels, so that's really good. And we're able to do the important thing here, which is look into the star map and actually start to research some areas right here. So we'll have to get a couple rockets up and running and actually fly out there and visit a few of those. At any rate, that'll have to happen in the next episode. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.